Coming up on Good Morning Texas, construction places students closer than usual to traffic on their walk to class.
How wearing a gorilla costume can help preserve the playful primates.
And we get a scrumptious lesson on Black history.
All this and more coming up on Good Morning Texas. Good morning, Texas. I'm Jessica Taylor.
And I'm Cortland Cole. Thank you for joining us this morning.
I can't believe it's our first show of the semester.
Yeah, it's our first show of the semester and my last first show of my college career. So heartbreaking. That
is so sad, but luckily syllabus week just ended, so hopefully your classes aren't too hard yet.
Yeah, the classes are the easy part. It's just getting to them is the hard part.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Construction along Dean Keaton and Whitus Avenue continues into the spring semester. As a result, people near this area must walk on the street. Students explain how the construction affects their daily commute to class.
I've seen people almost hit pedestrians, which is, that's not right.
I think it's definitely a safety hazard. They kind of blocked off the sideway on Whitus coming up to the communication school, so you have to be careful and look out for cars before you cross.
I think they probably did announce it, but I think they should have made that a little bit more clear. They should maybe put more signs saying, don't walk here, maybe being a little bit more transparent.
It has made me later to class because I'll find routes where I can avoid that, and I'll go around the building like a 5-minute longer way. I'll be late to class. So I definitely think it's a safety risk, and it's just an inconvenience for all the UT students, and just a big liability for UT.
We do have to pass the construction to get here to the studio every day and to classes. So it's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, I know my 2 classes for today. I have to pass by that twice because it's at the CMA and BELO. So luckily there's no construction on the Sky Bridge, though.
Thank God for the Sky Bridge, am I right?
I know, such a great new thing. Also, I guess if you want to avoid traffic and construction altogether, you can always just run. In fact, dozens dressed as gorillas and bananas for the 7th annual Austin Gorilla Run. I went out to Camp Mabry where the run was held, and I found out how it helps save the mountain gorilla populations. At the Austin Gorilla Run, you don't get a running number, you get a banana suit.
Every year we get some tradition, we get a group together and come up with a costume idea, and the night before we train props, and it's really fun.
Founder Frank Kiesling says the registration covers the cost of the banana or ape suit, and the remainder is donated to the Mountain Gorilla Conservation Fund to provide veterinary care to animals in Uganda.
The basis of our project is veterinary medicine, so we were the first project to put vets on the ground to go in and give assistance to the animals, and that started in 1986. Today we have a whole wildlife education center that is constructed in Kampala, Uganda.
Since the project's start in 1987, there's been a significant increase in the mountain gorilla population.
There were 248 mountain gorillas that are alive, and today we're posting over 880.
Runner Erica Estep says she loves running for this cause almost as much as she loves the costumes.
My favorite part of the event was probably seeing all the costumes, and then that just kind of motivates me to keep going.
Kiesling says his favorite part is all the awareness they're able to raise and the animals they're able to help.
It's a wonderful awareness, and the proceeds that are generated are supporting the education system for teaching the locals to take care of their own wildlife.
For Good Morning Texas, I'm Jessica Taylor.
I also went out this weekend, and what better way to learn the history of a culture than through food? We joined the Greater Austin Black Chamber of Commerce on a savory journey through the history of Austin's African American culture. A taste of Austin showcases the talents of Black chefs within Austin and the surrounding areas. Proceeds from the event go to the Urban Roots program dedicated to giving minority youth a healthy lifestyle.
food is one of the major industries that we've always been a part of. Since we've come over here as cargo, we've been cooking in kitchens and through slavery, through emancipation. And cooking and food brings and builds community. And we want to make sure that we can understand and harness the entrepreneurship opportunities that come through there, so that our future generations can understand that there are more opportunities in business outside of technology.
What can we do around food and on a larger scale and make certain that Black chefs and people who are doing really cool things in the food industry here locally are highlighted? And so then we said, well, why don't we have a food expo? And then we thought, well, Austin's kind of different, so let's do it a little differently.
Well, that all looked so good. What food did they serve?
It looked really good. I didn't get to taste any, but they had like a really vast array. So they had peanut soup, they had biscuits kind of as hors d'oeuvres with preservatives, which is, jam. They had, spicy jambalaya. It looked delicious. The sausage looked so well cooked in that. They had Texas chili, and I'm a huge fan of Texas chili. And they fried chicken, of course.
I bet they all really enjoyed all of that. What else happened there?
The cool thing about it to me was the decorations, I guess you could call it, around the room. They had portraits with kind of summaries of what was going on and how food was created. So apparently barbecue was created by the Sudanese, if I'm getting that correctly, in Virginia. And I did not know that was a thing.
I didn't know that either. But what a fun and delicious way to start off February and Black History Month.
Yep.
So coming up, we have Avery Tanner in our News and Weather Center.
Stay tuned for more Good Morning Texas. We're back with Avery Tanner in our News and Weather Center. What's the latest in the news, Avery?
President Donald Trump nominated Neil Gorsuch for the Supreme Court's vacant seat last night. Trump's selection delivers on one of his key campaign promises to appoint a conservative judge to the vacancy. The seat was left open by the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. If confirmed, Judge Gorsuch would bring the total of conservative judges on the court to 5, restoring the same conservative to liberal split from Scalia's term. Gorsuch is 49, making him the youngest Supreme Court nominee in 24 years. Texas Governor Greg Abbott gave his State of the State address yesterday. The governor addressed issues including banning so-called sanctuary cities and overhauling Texas's child welfare system. Abbott also pushed for tax relief and announced the beginning of a hiring freeze within state agencies. The Boy Scouts of America said on Monday that they will now accept members in accordance with the gender listed on their application, instead of the gender on their birth certificate. This policy paves the way for transgender boys to join the organization for the first time in its history. This decision comes after a transgender boy in New Jersey was kicked out of the Boy Scouts organization just last year. A spokeswoman for the Boy Scouts of America says that evolving attitudes around gender identity constituted the primary reason for the change.
Thanks, Avery.
Well, this was certainly a crazy day yesterday and night in our newsroom with the State of the State address and then all of this with Trump, especially a lot going on with our youth, with the CPS reform that was mentioned in the State of the State address and then also with the Boy Scouts.
And don't forget the sanctuary cities that Greg Abbott said in his State of the State address.
Well, besides that, let's see how the weather is looking this week.
February is looking to be a warm month. Today, we're kicking off the Valentine's season with a high of 78 and a low of 56. Tomorrow, expect a cloudy start with a low of 52. Temperatures will pick up and the sun will come out, reaching the 70s in the afternoon. Friday will be cloudy with a high of 70. Showers are possible this weekend with highs in the mid to upper 70s and lows in the lower 60s. Get outside and enjoy this weather before rain comes to Austin over the weekend. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Avery. I'm actually really excited about the weather. It's been really off and on recently, and it looks like it's going to be pretty consistent this week.
I'm excited to get out there and enjoy the sun.
Don't go anywhere. After the break, we discuss a couple of tips to help your mental health during this transitioning government.
and welcome back to Good Morning Texas. In light of the climate surrounding the transition in government, Good Morning Texas decided to round up some tips to help improve your mental health, courtesy of the Tribeza magazine right here in Austin, Texas.
So we have a couple of tips for you guys. The first one is just to cut down on news media. Now, don't stay ignorant. You need to keep up on what's going on, but limit yourself. If you know something's triggering for you, you don't want to watch it, 24 hours a day or read it every waking minute of the day,
Start very small and then increase the amount of news consumption you can take per day.
And then be aware of how and where you're taking your politics.
Another good tip is to focus more on your immediate world and specific areas where you can make a difference.
And so we also have keep a healthy skepticism about what you hear and read by doing your own fact checking. And fact checking is very, very important. We do know that a lot of news has a little bit of bias in it. So doing your own fact checking will help you, maybe not feel better, but know right from wrong.
Also, it's good to be curious about how different political views develop. So we don't all consume our news the same way, and we don't all understand it the same way. So it's good to be curious about what people are saying and to fact check, like Cortland was saying.
I think in the end, you just have to be, at this moment, you have to be very self-aware and know what you can and cannot take. And if you know that there's something that's happening that you just should not get into or talk about, you can just remove yourself from the situation. There are extensions on Google Chrome that can help you out if there are triggering words going around. I know sexual assault has been thrown around recently. There's an extension where you can block words or replace them with a silly phrase. So you could use that.
Yeah, it's always good to know these things, and also there's so much stress going on in your life, especially as a child or as a student or as a working adult. So the added stress of politics can be overwhelming if you don't know how to manage it and if you don't take the time to, do things that you enjoy also, besides just consuming all of your news.
Right. Don't forget to have fun. That's always key in life. Just have fun. Work hard, play hard. Coming back, we have Will Reason here to perform a song for us. Stay tuned.
Well, welcome back to Good Morning Texas. I'm here with Will Reason. He's here to perform some songs for us. He's a local Austin musician, most notably a guitarist and a songwriter. So welcome, Will. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So how did you get started playing guitar and songwriting?
I think it was Basket Case by Green Day in 5th grade. I must have been around 10, and I decided right then that I needed to play guitar. And so I went, got a $50 Stratocaster from Guitar Center, and I've been obsessed since then. I haven't put it down.
So you started super young. What have you done since you've been 10 in the...
Many things. I loved it enough to go and, I studied jazz guitar at UNC Chapel Hill for 3 semesters, and I couldn't get enough music, and so I transferred to Berklee School of Music in Boston, and I still couldn't get enough music, and so I moved back to the music capital of the world, Austin, and so now I'm here, and I'm getting my fill of music here for sure, so I love it here.
What all have you done in Austin as far as music goes?
Oh man, gigging. So I work as a session musician here. I do a lot of production. I'm on a constant search for talent. So if you have a band, if you're a singer, you're an artist, and you need, you want a producer, a songwriter, hit me up. Talent at willreason.com. Really just playing. It's what I live to do.
So tell us a bit about what inspires your songwriting.
Johnny Cash. So I was born with a low voice. That's just, I came out and I said, "Mama," with that growl. And so, I just couldn't help but be drawn to kind of those styles of folk and country music along the lines of David Byrne and Leonard Cohen and Johnny Cash.
All right, so what can we expect here today?
So this song is called Snow White. I got really into Johnny Cash's storytelling vibe, and so I thought I would do something that was very heavily influenced by a song called A Boy Named Sue.
All right, well, we're all excited to hear it, so let's take it away.
Snow White, won't you let me in? I've come again to hear you sing. I'm no knight, nor a prince, but when I'm with you, I become a king. And when you're away, I always dream I'll be there with you another day. Snow White, what would you do if you knew I talk to animals too every night? And out of your sight, I tell the owls what I do for you. And the trees will sway, and on my knees I'll pray that I'll be there with you another day. Hey, Snow White, Snow White, tell me everything's all right. Snow White, Snow White, tell me everything's just fine. Snow White, my only friend, when will I see you again? Snow White, is this the end? You've left me only seas and a stem, and the price I pay when you're away is why you're on my mind every day.
Well, that was incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe
Thank you for having me.
I can go watch Snow White after this. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to hear more from Will Reason, feel free to go to willreason.com. And if you need a songwriter or a producer, you can contact him at talent@willreason.com.
Please.
So thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in to our Snapchat and our Twitter at Good Morning GMTX. Thanks so much. I'm one of your hosts, Jessica Taylor. See you next time. That was